Why you decided to make Joe the backup and not Shedeur?
Yeah, Joe's the backup.
Was there, along with changing to Cotillion, was there any conversation at all about moving Shedeur up to number 2 and making him?
My focus is on this game. Joe's the backup.
Listen, I don't understand why you can't push Shedeur as your QB2. That's me personally. I don't get that part. And here's the reason I'm saying that. Flacco knows Father Time has caught up to him, that he's not what he used to be. Yep. He's happy to be on an NFL roster to contribute in any way that he possibly can. He knows that he's a stopgap for the young guns coming up the rear. He knows that. So there's nothing wrong with putting him at the QB3 spot.
When Shedeur does anything, it's always critique. Mm-hmm. What I don't like is you may not be able to relate to what he's doing or how he's doing it, but you can't control and make it be what you want it to be, because it's not that.
Kevin Stefanski has caused quite a stir in the football world with his recent comments about Shedeur Sanders. In a bold and controversial move, Stefanski confirmed that Sanders is not in the running to be the backup quarterback for Dillon Gabriel. Instead, he named Joe Flacco, who had previously been the backup, as the one who will now serve as Gabriel's primary backup. What's even more shocking? Stefanski didn't bother to elaborate on his decision. No explanation, no clarification, just a straight-up statement that has left fans and analysts alike questioning his reasoning. Why was Shedeur Sanders overlooked? Let's dive into the details and try to make sense of this surprising decision. Stefanski has always stirred controversy whenever Shedeur Sanders' name comes up, often making statements that seem more about saving face than providing clear explanations. But this time, he's gone all in, and analysts are not taking it lightly. Cam Newton didn't hold back in his reaction to Stefanski's decision to make Joe Flacco the backup quarterback. Newton criticized the Browns head coach, arguing that Sanders is being treated unjustly. Having experienced the pressures of being an NFL quarterback himself, Newton firmly believes it's not wrong to question the way Sanders is being handled. Newton emphasized that the situation surrounding Sanders is unlike anything seen before. Despite being a fifth-round pick and currently holding a third-string position, Sanders has garnered an unprecedented level of fan support. Newton pointed out that this level of backing for a rookie quarterback in a low-profile role is something we've never witnessed in NFL history.
A person not be a starter, not be second string, third string
QB,
a fifth-round pick, have this much.
Stephen A. Smith also weighed in on the controversy, bringing up an important question. Is Shedeur Sanders' position on the depth chart really as trivial as some are making it seem? He strongly disagrees, arguing that it absolutely carries weight, especially when you consider the political dynamics at play. Stephen A. pointed out that Sanders didn't drop to the 144th pick in the draft because of a lack of talent, but rather because of perceptions about his father's influence in the league. With that in mind, Stephen A. emphasized the need to scrutinize Sanders' place on the depth chart more closely. He suggested that the Browns, in particular, are still trying to control the narrative around Sanders, how he's seen by the media, fans, and other teams. This isn't simply a matter of choosing a backup quarterback. It's
in Shedeur Sanders' case, 144th overall, it mattered. Yep. You know that, Peter. You know that, Swag. It matters because it was Shedeur Sanders, and we got the impression that it wasn't just football, it was something about his dad. So what I'm saying to you is that we're beyond all of that now to some degree, and we get that part, but that doesn't mean the residue doesn't still exist in terms of people wanting to control the narrative when it comes to that young man.
However, as Stephen A. pointed out, this move won't stop the fans from questioning why Sanders isn't getting a chance to play. The pressure is mounting, and fans are becoming more vocal. They're demanding answers, and as long as Sanders remains on the sidelines, the scrutiny will only grow stronger. Stephen A. Smith made it clear that the pressure on the Cleveland Browns is intensifying day by day. As the team's offensive struggles deepen, Smith pointed out that Shedeur Sanders can no longer be ignored. With everything happening in Cleveland, there's no way you can keep overlooking a talent like Sanders, he remarked. Smith believes that, given the rising expectations and the team's desperate need for a spark, the Browns will eventually have no choice but to give Sanders a chance. The mounting pressure from fans, media, and the team's poor on-field performance all point to one inevitable conclusion: Sanders has earned the opportunity to start. The situation is reaching a breaking point, and sooner or later, the Browns will have to acknowledge that Sanders deserves his shot.
Taking all of that into consideration, that's why we know we're going to see him, because we know that pressure is mounting. The more inept they are offensively, the less of an excuse you're going to have to submerge him. If you got Dylan Gabriel, you're going to throw him out there.
After Stefanski made it clear that Shedeur Sanders isn't even being considered for the backup role, Sanders has made it known that staying on the sidelines is no longer part of his plan. He's firm in his belief that he's ready for a starting role and has the talent to back it up. While he's been patient up until this point, Sanders admitted that he's frustrated by the lack of opportunities to prove himself, especially when he feels he's earned the chance to start. This marks the first time we've heard him openly express dissatisfaction with his current situation, and if this continues, it could spark a new controversy. However, it's still early in the process, and there's much more to unfold in this ongoing saga. As the tension builds, all eyes will be on how the Browns respond and whether Sanders' frustration will lead to any significant changes in the depth chart. Shedeur Sanders has been outspoken about his belief that he's a better option than the quarterbacks currently on the Cleveland roster. He didn't hold back, even calling out Joe Flacco, expressing full confidence that he could outperform the others if given the opportunity. In a bold statement, Shedeur went so far as to claim that he's better than some of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. While he's frustrated with being stuck on the scout team, Shedeur recognizes that this is just part of the process to prove himself and earn his shot.
Overall, this isn't my end goal, I'm just enjoying myself, learning, doing everything I have to do, and just ready for my opportunity.
How frustrating can that be when you look around?
Everybody perspective, so, that's not nothing, in my place to answer. That's nothing I can't not answer, but I know for sure I'm not, I know if you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that.
It's becoming increasingly clear that Kevin Stefanski's actions and statements suggest a reluctance, if not outright resistance, to see Shedeur Sanders succeed within the Cleveland Browns organization. By openly declaring that Sanders is not in the running for a backup role and keeping him buried on the depth chart, Stefanski has sent a strong message that he doesn't view Sanders as a legitimate option, despite the growing fan support and his undeniable talent. Sanders' frustration is palpable, and it's understandable. He's been patient, but his confidence in his ability to perform at the highest level is undeniable. Yet, it seems as though Stefanski is more concerned with controlling the narrative and maintaining a certain dynamic within the team, rather than giving Sanders a fair opportunity to prove himself. The Browns' decision to stick with their current quarterbacks, even in the face of ongoing struggles, reflects a deeper issue at play: a reluctance to let Sanders take center stage. As the pressure continues to mount, it's clear that Stefanski's approach could lead to further unrest within the team and among fans. At this point, it's hard to ignore the reality that Stefanski may be actively working against Sanders' success, a situation that could have lasting implications for the Browns. What do you all think about Kevin Stefanski's decision to keep Shedeur Sanders sidelined? Do you believe it's a matter of strategy, or is there something deeper at play here? Is Stefanski holding Sanders back, or does Sanders simply need to prove himself more? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Are the Browns making a mistake, or is this the right call for the team?